You sold the opposite poster? Yeah, dude, we broke even already. I desired to promote them. I would have performed it myself. I want to maintain them. Every time I make a selection, you got something to effing take. Well, yeah, whilst you make a silly choice, yeah. No, what is the actual issue, dude? Rick Harrison by no means concept his circle of relatives empire might be shaken like this. The man who constructed Pawn Stars from the ground up, who turned forgotten junk into treasure, now reveals himself in a hurricane no enterprise trick can restore. The world becomes shocked, whilst the stunning news about his son's life sentence broke, and the entirety changed in an immediate. Tune in, because this isn't always simply any other pawn shop tale. Pawn Kings and Family Secrets. The Harrison circle of relatives has always been about huge offers and bigger goals. With their reality TV show, Pawn Stars, they have become one of the most diagnosed households in the business international. They made history out of antique junk, became rusty antiques into gold, and made a number of and showed all people that you may make a fortune if you knew the cost of things. But in the back of all that success, there may be a facet maximum people never get to see, a side in which one wrong deal could change everything. Rick Harrison has usually been the face of the empire. He's the fellow who ought to spot a fake from a mile away, who should haggle better than everybody, and who constantly had a trick up his sleeve. But even the sharpest businessmen cannot control the whole thing. Life throws curveballs, and on occasion even the most effective families cannot escape hassle. Rick lately greatly surprised the sector whilst information broke approximately his son's existence sentence. It became the kind of aspect no one noticed coming. Fans of Pawn Stars were used to seeing the Harrisons argue over offers, funny story around, and speak approximately history. But this turned into actual existence, and it wasn't quite. But this wasn't the primary time the Harrisons confronted serious demanding situations. Before Rick became a millionaire, before the cameras and the intense lighting fixtures, there became just a small pawn store and a family trying to make it. Richard Old Man Harrison, Rick's father, become a difficult man. Born within the early 40s, he grew up in a global in which tough work changed into everything. He joined the Navy and spent over 20 years serving, earlier than finding out he wanted something different. When he moved to Las Vegas, he saw an opportunity. A city complete of gamblers, risk-takers, and those who on occasion needed brief coins. In the early 80s, Old Man and Rick opened a tiny coin store that turned into their first step into the sector of pawning. Back then, it became all about rare cash and small collectibles. Rick, who became just in his 20s, had herbal skills for recognizing precious stuff. He cherished the joys of the deal, the excitement of turning a tiny investment into a massive profit. It did not take lengthy for him to understand that the store can be something a whole lot bigger. By the late 80s, they took a big hazard. They improved their enterprise into a complete blown pawn save. They named it Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, a location in which something can be sold, bought, or traded. At first, it became hard. People failed to agree with pawn shops. They notion of them as shady locations complete of stolen items. But Rick and his father had a plan. They wanted to trade the way human beings notice pawn stores. They focused on customer service, truthful offers, and preserving things professional. Slowly, however, in reality, they built a popularity. One of the smartest actions they made, getting a license to stay open 24 hours a day. In a town like Las Vegas, where humans are wakeful in any respect hours, this became genius. Whether someone wanted cash at 3 in the morning or desired to pawn something after a protracted night at the casino, Gold and Silver Pawn Shop became always open. This positioned them beforehand of the competition. For years, Rick dreamed of creating the pawn commercial enterprise something bigger. He knew people loved history, cherished memories, and cherished seeing how deals went down. In the early 2000s, he commenced pitching the concept of a fact show. At first, no one thought it might work. Who might watch a show approximately a pawn shop? But Rick believed in it and he kept pushing. Finally, the History Channel took a chance on him. When Pawn Stars hit the air in 2009, it changed into an immediate hit. People could not get enough. They loved seeing Rick negotiate Antique Man's grumpy, however clever, recommendation, Corey trying to prove himself, and Chumlee's goofy antics. The Save have become a traveler attraction, a need to go to vicinity for enthusiasts round the sector. Business exploded, people covered up simply to take photos outside, hoping to trap a glimpse in their favorite TV stars. Success came speedy, but it wasn't all easy sailing. Behind the scenes, the circle of relatives had its share of troubles. Running a commercial enterprise at the same time as being on TV wasn't clean. Fame added money, but it additionally added anxiety. And then the worst news hit. Rick's son located himself in critical criminal problem. For a person who built his life on clever selections and appropriate commercial enterprise sense, Rick couldn't have seen this coming. His son's arrest became a shock, now not simply to the enthusiasts, however to the own family itself. People commenced asking questions. How did this occur? What went incorrect? It was the sort of scandal that no reality show should edit out. The news unfolded like wildfire. Fans have been burdened, critics have been brutal, and the media wouldn't stop speaking approximately Corey Harrison's wild behavior. Corey Big Hoss Harrison has been a fixture on Pawn Stars since the very beginning. Known for his ambition to, in the future, take over the gold and silver pawn save, Corey's life off camera has often been far from the expert photograph he portrays on the display. Legal issues, arrests, and reckless conduct have made him a tabloid favorite. One of Corey's most publicized criminal problems got here inside the shape of a DUI arrest in Las Vegas. Metro Police arresting pawn megastar Corey Harrison early Friday morning, accusing him of riding drunk. It occurred late at night whilst officials pulled him over for erratic riding. According to police reviews, Corey became swerving among lanes and riding at inconsistent speeds. These had been the conventional signs and symptoms of intoxication. When officials approached the automobile, they straightaway noticed the scent of alcohol and different symptoms of impairment, which includes Corey's slurred speech and unsteady moves. Area sobriety, take a look at, changed into carried out, which he failed. The breathalyzer confirmed their suspicions, displaying a blood alcohol content well above the legal restriction of 0.08%. Corey turned into arrested instant and taken to prison, in which he was booked for driving below the affect. The arrests have become front web page news, and Corey fast located himself under public scrutiny. Fans of Pawn Stars had been greatly surprised, as the show had usually depicted him as a dependable part of the circle of relatives' commercial enterprise. The media insurance was not type, both with headlines emphasizing his reckless conduct. In court, Corey pleaded no contest to the fees, which allowed him to keep away from prison time. However, he changed into sentence to probation, obligatory DU on education lessons, and network service. The incident priced him lots of dollars in prison costs, fines, and related prices, and it cast an extended shadow over his public photograph. If the DUI was now not enough, Corey determined himself in warm water once more just a few years later. In 2020, he rented an RV for a desert getaway, but things did not cross as deliberate in any respect. According to the car's owner, Corey didn't go back the RV at the agreed-upon date. When it finally arrived, it turned into absolutely trashed. The awning turned into ripped off. The indoors turned into packed with rubbish, together with empty alcohol bottles and meals wrappers, and there have been seen signs of harm from what regarded to be a severe crash. The owner anticipated the entire repair costs at over $30,000. To make matters worse, the delays and damages forced the proprietor to cancel 10 future reservations, costing him heaps greater in lost revenue. The proprietor filed a police file, and the incident speedy hit the news. Corey's representatives claimed the situation being blown out of share and that coverage would cope with the damages. Still, the incident added to Corey's reputation for carelessness and absence of accountability. Another infamous episode in Corey's wild conduct timeline happened in Jefferson City, Missouri. During a motorcycle tour prevent, Corey's week of heavy partying culminated in a public meltdown at a nearby bar referred to as Spectators. Witnesses reported that Corey, visibly intoxicated, urinated in public and prompted a scene in the bar.